Hi, everybody. This is John Farian with LiveLARGE Universe, and I have the honor today to be here with RevItUpGirls, both Judy and Susan. So, Susan, how are you doing tonight?
Fantastic. Thanks for
Awesome.
having the invite for us. It's awesome.
Yeah, you're very welcome, and thank you for reaching out to me when I did the shout out asking for some new guests, what's going on. And I've had you on before, and actually, we've talked about some of the things you've done in the past, and super excited to
Yeah,
have you back on. And
thank you so
Judy,
much. I really appreciate it.
yeah, you're very welcome, Susan. Judy, welcome to the show also. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here and share my story.
That's awesome. So while we get everybody here starting to come in and watch the show, we've got a few live viewers just coming in now. Here's a little commercial for you. A couple things that I need the viewers to do. This is interactive participation, audience participation. You guys have a couple of things to do. I need you to go into the comments right now and let us know where you're watching from. I see Andy Kennedy is here saying, heck yeah, Johnny. Welcome to the show, Andy. Appreciate you being on. Let us know, for everybody else's sake, where you're watching from. I know you're here in Washington State, but everybody else who's coming in too, again, let us know in the comments where you're watching from, and if you've attended a Rev It Up Girls event possibly, or if you know somebody who might be a good fit for them, feel free to drop them in the comments and tag them in the comments. That would be awesome as well. And the other thing I'm going to ask you to do is share the show out. If you share the show out, I'm going to enter you in to win an amazing first aid kit from Mountain Lab. So Mountain Lab is one of our show sponsors. We're so grateful for them participating, and they've provided this first aid kit for anybody who is going to share the show out. We're going to enter you in to win a drawing for this first aid kit. So thank you, Mountain Lab, and thank you all who are in here watching. Again, drop it in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. And share the show out, and we'll enter you in to win this contest as well. So, all right, Susan, Judy, are you two ready to have a little fun tonight?
Let's rock it.
Yeah.
All right, all right. So, Susan, let's start with you. You're kind of the quote-unquote brainchild of this whole thing called Rev It Up Girls, but let's start with getting to know you a little bit first before we get into what Rev It Up Girls is. So, let us know a little bit about who you are, Susan. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you. Susan Johnston. I live in Etna, Wyoming, in Star Valley area. Been here for 30 years, something like that, on and off. Originally a horse farm girl, though. I was
Nice.
born and raised on a thoroughbred horse farm, so kind of a leap. I got sick of the regular horse-powered, and I wanted it on my thumb. So
There you
I
go.
just switched gears a little bit. But no, I've been riding for longer than I want to tell you. Probably can tell I'm kind of a grandma, but I've been riding a long time, and it took me years to do what these girls do in a day. But yeah, it's just me hanging out with you, having a good time, just talking about Rev It Up. And I don't like to talk about myself that much, but I do. I'm an X-ray tech and CT tech down at the hospital here in Afton, and I work really cool shift for me. Some people may not like it, but I do straight 48. It's
Oh, wow.
48 hours straight, and then I'm off for 5 days. So a lot of
Wow.
riding.
So
Yeah,
when you go, you kind of just go full throttle all the time,
yeah,
whether it
I'm
be at
just
work.
there. Yeah, full pin, full pin at work. Yep.
There you go. Perfect, perfect. So
Yeah.
thank you, Susan. I'm going to move over to Judy now. So Judy, give us a little highlight on who's Judy tonight and where are you coming in from?
Okay. I am Judy Collins. I live in Rock Springs, Wyoming, and I have been a single mom for 35 years, and I own my own business. I have been a hairstylist for 38 years. And the nice thing is it gives me time to adjust my schedule and go out and do the things I love. I love the outdoors, doing all things. I haven't done a lot of snowmobiling, but I'm all for all the other stuff, side by side and paddleboarding, river stuff. So I'm super just stoked about. I love the club and being here and getting us out there. I want more people to join and have the fun.
Yeah, yeah. You're just like a lot of us. We love to just get on anything that has a lot of horsepower and gives us some wind in our hair, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right.
I
So
was
as
going
we
to
go,
say something about your hair,
okay,
but I won't do that.
about
Sorry.
my hair, my
Yeah,
my
your hair.
my hair, it's
The
under
wind in
there.
your hair.
Yeah, there's not
It's
much
there.
under there, so that's why I wear a hat on the show. And a special shout out to my buddy Kyle Franklin for the Love Your Life hat.
Oh,
So he
I know
hooked me up.
Kyle. Hey, Kyle.
Yep, Kyle's. I don't know if he's here watching tonight, but I'm sure he'll watch later. He's a regular of watching the show, but I thought I'd give him a shout out tonight with a little hat tribute here. So, yeah, let me just let everybody know quick. Susan is going to be talking mostly about what Rev It Up Girls is, kind of the details of it and what's going on. And as I was talking to Susan this week in our kind of pre-show interview, I had this kind of epiphany that I think it would be really cool to bring somebody on who has firsthand experienced what Rev It Up Girls does, what they offer, and the impacts it can have to the people who attended with their lives. And so Judy has graciously agreed to come on the show and give us her her testimonial, if you will, of what's going on. And we'll come back to you in a little bit, Judy, but let's kick it over to Susan and talk a little bit about what is Rev It Up Girls, and give us a little bit about the background of it, kind of how you got it started. But the floor is yours for a little while here. Just give us a background on what Rev It Up Girls and what people need to know about it.
All right. Well, thank you. So Rev It Up, we started in 2018, and it was for about 5 of us girls that just really wanted to make snowmobiling a little easier for everybody. It's not an easy sport for women to get into, and I had my own problems riding, mostly because I just sucked, but I didn't know how to ride.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do anything. My goal when I was riding was to get from point A to point B without getting stuck or yelled at. That was it. And the epiphany for the whole premise of Rev It Up and our little platform that we have was, I had a buddy that was like, all right, I just broke my leg. Which way's out? And I'm like, oh shit, I don't know. So it was one of those eye openers that, the backcountry is freaking awesome, but it can take your bacon if you're not paying attention. So it's more of, trying to educate women and get them out there and get them comfortable on whatever motorized that they like. I do some more snowmobiling. Ava, who's a big part of the club, is more of a dirt biker, and Wendy. And we have, motorized all 4 seasons. And that was the other thing is, we had all this fun stuff in the winter, and then the summer we didn't see each other.
I know, right?
It's like we got all these separate friends. So we really want to Rev It Up to be that link for the whole year, because we hated losing touch with each other, but we just did. So, Rev It Up helped with that too. So it is just, we started a nonprofit, which I had a fantastic lady, Jenny, who never left my side and was just instrumental in getting this club off the ground with all the finances. She's a bookkeeper, and she helped me get everything set up for the nonprofit, the 501c3, the banking and the Square accounts and all that stuff, which was over my head. I built the website, which is RevItUpGirls.com, and it took me, I don't know, like a month to do this thing on GoDaddy. And my friend Ava, who's part of the club, she tweaked it in about 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, I just suck with all this other stuff. So I'm really glad there's other girls helping me out. But Rev It Up is mainly here to help other women that have the desire to get out, but are just too intimidated or nervous or scared to go do it. We are a grassroots club. We teach from the bottom up. We've had women that join us that are, whispering into somebody's ear, like, how do you make it go? That's how beginner we are.
Yeah.
And it's great. I mean, we all have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm honored that they want to start with us. So we've grown and tweaked. We've added a skills day, which was just a half day. And it is very popular. Last winter, unfortunately, I had to cancel like 3 of them because we didn't have any snow.
Gotcha.
But it's real popular that what we try and do is we're just a bunch of girls helping a bunch of girls. And we just pass forward all the information that we have. Whatever we've learned, we pay it forward. I'm really tall. I can help the tall girls how to ride. And there's some short girls that can help the short girls how to ride, because we all ride different. Women, it's a finesse battle, and not powering it through, but learning how to finesse that big machine. So we just try and pay that forward to them, and then encourage them to go on and take all these clinics that they want to take, but they're too dang scared to take, which I don't blame them. It's intimidating.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep,
Some
absolutely.
of these women are just really awesome riders. And, I'm a grandma on a sled. I'm like beginner intermediate. So it's just really fun to watch these girls when someone tells them how to do something, where to put their feet, how much throttle to give, and watch them just take off. It is amazing. They get this stuff that literally took me years
Yeah.
in one afternoon.
Well, and something I'll interject here quick too, and I've witnessed it myself, is that, you know, there's a lot of challenges for ladies specifically to learn to ride, and it's one is that in a lot of cases, if they're married ladies, they're probably trying to learn from their husband, their boyfriend, their significant other, and the
Mm-hmm.
reality is there's two things at play there. One is that the ability to teach your spouse is a very, very, very narrow margin of success.
Yes,
Like,
it is.
sending their spouse to a clinic, and it doesn't matter if it's the husband or the wife. I don't care if the wife got the husband into it and maybe she's the better rider, trying to teach her husband how to, like, there's just a dynamic at play when you have a couple that makes it extra challenging
Yeah.
to teach and train, and to sometimes listen as a husband or as a wife. Maybe it's hard to listen to our spouse sometimes, and the way they say something may come across one way to us, and it may come across completely different to somebody else, right? Even though they said maybe the exact same words, and how we
Exactly.
internalize it. So there's that part of it, right? And then the other piece is that it is different for men and women to learn to ride. Like, body weight, muscle mass, all those things will help men get on the edge maybe a little easier, and so that maybe can be muscled a little bit more, and it's less about technique. And so it's really, really important for a woman who knows what they're doing and how to ride to be able to then teach another woman what it takes, right, to be able to do this. Anything you want to elaborate on that topic, or did I say it
Oh
well
yeah.
enough, I guess? So
Oh no, you said it great. I mean, it really is. A lot of us have had trouble with men, and we are not a man bashing group. In fact, I have like a strict no man bashing policy. We have troubles with men, and it's usually a husband or a boyfriend, and it's a communication thing.
yep.
They're not mad at you, they're just frustrated, but it doesn't come off that way.
Yeah.
We hear what we hear, and it's not necessarily what they said, but it's how they said it. Men and women are so different on a motorized anything. You guys are just full pin. You come out of the womb full pin, and we're like, oh dear, you know, we're the caretakers. We're made differently,
Yep.
genetically different. And that's how we're supposed to be. But it's just hard to get into a sport that is so dominated with men and with a motor that is overwhelmingly frightening. I was
Yeah.
so scared when I started, and I was on an O2,
Yeah.
an Edge O2, and I was so scared to push that fun flipper. Like, it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. Well, I
Like,
think
I didn't know what it was going to do.
Yeah, and I think one more piece, something you just mentioned, triggered another thought for me too. Another thing that I see over and over and over again is that in many cases, especially if it's a couple that's riding, man, woman, couple, is the husband or the boyfriend, whoever, may be allowing the wife to use the hand-me-down sled. That may be not the right sled for the woman, right? Like, it's too
We have a
big, the
big
handlebars
class
are
on
too
that.
high, it maybe has too much power, the track might be too short, too long, whatever it is. A
Yeah.
sled that works for me doesn't necessarily work the best for the
It
wife or the
doesn't.
lady, right?
And that was, that's such a good point. It was what an eye opener. So I am like stock size.
Yeah,
So when I started Rev It Up, I've never switched a sled from, I just ride stock, but
yeah,
I'm stock size. I'm man size. I have man hands. And it didn't occur to me that until I started Rev It Up and these girls are like, I can't reach the brake. I'm like, what do you mean you can't reach the brake? What's wrong with you? Like, I didn't get it. And the handlebars are too far and this and that. And I'm like, I really had to stop and pay
yeah,
attention. And we got into probably in our second year sled setup
yeah,
because it was abundantly clear that we're all getting hand-me-downs and they're not set up for a 120-pound woman. They're set up for a 180-pound man. And everything is in that, like all of it, the shocks, the springs, all of it. And we have actual sled setup classes with our meetings. Well, one meeting is usually in January. We have sled setup.
yeah,
We have a couple of our members, Janice and her husband. Her husband's really good at tweaking stuff. And no offense to any of the women, but I have had women teach sled setup and the girls are not listening. And when guys teach it, the girls listen. I don't really care. Have the
interesting.
guys teach it. I don't
Yeah,
care. But, and I think it was, we've had a dynamic from the get go of trust.
yeah,
I'm like, why are you going to go out and follow grandma around the hills? You don't know me. You don't know anything about me. Where am I going to take you? You don't have your comfort zone of your husband or your significant other or your best friend that happens to be a guy, because we are women's only on the rides. And that was a hard hurdle. It took us a while to build that trust. And it was one of these things that I finally had to, every time, and we all do that. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Can I make it out of there? If you're going to take me down there, can I get out?
Yep.
And it's like, I won't take you down something that I can't get you out, because that does me no good.
Yeah.
I have some areas that I take people to that I'll double them in if they're really, really beginners, because once they get up there, it's Mecca, but getting up there is difficult. But I don't take people in over their head, and we ride at beginner level, and we'll split out if we've got people that are more advanced. But it's just that dynamic of leaving your comfort zone is really hard. And I get it, totally get it. And I think for me, when I started Rev It Up, I think I had like a year before that I had to now start leading if I was going to ride. So I lost my riding buddies. And so it was me and Wendy, and I had to lead. And when I started leading and worrying about who's behind me, my whole riding changed.
Yeah.
It was totally different. I quit worrying about anything else but her. And so I started riding better. I had to go grab her. I had to go do stuff. We started riding together. We both got better. I mean, we just did nothing but train for like 4 days in a row.
That's
and
awesome.
work on skills. So it's
awesome.
that dynamic of trust, which I don't blame them. They don't know me. I'm really old. So why would they want to do that? How am I going to get them out? But it has really grown, and we have earned that trust. And we have all these girls coming in. And all these girls are teaching the other girls.
Yep.
And I never wanted it to be Susan's club. I wanted it to be everybody else's club.
That's
and it
awesome.
is.
Well,
because they all help each other.
Yeah, one important detail we haven't mentioned yet, but I think is really cool that something that I came across as I was going through your website is the fact that you guys are, I'll use my words and then please correct me because I'll probably say it wrong, is you guys are a snowmobile club in the state of Wyoming, and your dues are a part of it goes to the Wyoming State Snowmobile Association, and part of it then stays with. So very similar. Like I'm the president of a local snowmobile club. We have dues for our club. There's dues for the state association. You can pay both through our club, and the money goes there too. And so I know I've stated a lot of what you probably need to say there, but like I just think that's such a cool feature of what you guys are doing. It's not just a ladies riding group or lit clinic, but you guys actually identify yourselves as a snowmobile club within the state of Wyoming, and you're set up as a nonprofit as well, correct?
Yeah, we got our own 501c3. We're Four Seasons motorized. As far as I know, there's not any other Four Seasons motorized or a nonprofit actual club. I mean, there's women's rides all over the place.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's another club. I haven't really done any research. I know we were the first, but I don't know if we're still the first.
Yeah, it's rare. I mean, like, for example, I'm part of a Jeep club. I'm part of a snowmobile club. They're separate clubs, and we run them separately type of thing. But, sometimes similar people are involved. But the other thing I've noticed, too, is that you guys are attracting ladies from far away, like close by and far away. So tell me a little bit about some of the places that you've had, ladies come in from. Yeah,
we have a different dynamic as far as an online presence with Facebook. Yep. And we reach a lot of people with Facebook. I know Facebook can be really challenging for a lot of people, but we wouldn't probably have all the members that we have. And a lot of these women are members and they want to come out and they just can't make it happen. Yeah. But we do get women in from everywhere: Utah, Colorado, Montana, Australia.
That's crazy.
Lyndall came from Australia. Well,
that's a long ways away for people to come in.
Yeah, she was like just in Jackson. She goes, "Do you mind if I, can I join?" And I'm like, "Sure." She's never been on a snow before. She's just a fantastic woman.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we attract people from everywhere, and that's because of social media. It really is. Give it all the props to social media. And with that, we try to, when we have our club meetings and our club rides and our skills day, we try and lump it all in one weekend. So we have Friday with skills, Friday night's a club meeting, and the Saturday ride. So they can come in with their significant other, stay wherever they want to stay. We have a sponsor, Meridi, that's in Thane, that she lets us have our meetings there, and it's got housing and all that stuff, so they can have housing, and it's just helps them to be able to come in from out of town. So we try and just lump it.
Yeah.
So everybody has that opportunity to drive, and that makes it a little more worthwhile for them. It's hard to drive however many days and just for a ride or a
Yeah.
skills, something
No,
like
for
that.
sure. For sure. Well, I think it's time to get over to Judy here and have her share a little bit about her
Perfect.
experience.
Thank you,
But
Judy.
just so you guys know, we're going to come back to Susan a little bit, and we're going to talk about some of the upcoming events that are happening and some of the specific programs you guys are involved in. So, Susan, take a sip of your coffee, whatever you got there. Let Judy here take over, and then we'll come back to you. So, Judy, speaking of people who come from all over the place, again, you shared with us earlier kind of where you live now, where you're from, but tell me how you first came across Rev It Up Girls and how you started to engage with them. Like, what was the process like? Did you find them
Okay.
online? Was it a friend of a friend? Like, tell me about it.
Okay. So the first time my first experience snowmobiling, I went with a group of friends, and I was handed a snowmobile, and I was told, here's the brake, here's the gas, go. And I thought, okay, I've rode four-wheelers for years. This is simple.
Yep.
And I learned really fast, it's nothing like a four-wheeler.
Yeah, yeah.
I was scared to death. I was stuck all the time. I had no clue how to ride. I cried the whole trip, and because I was, why are you wrecking? It was not fun for me, and I hated it. And one of my clients, who is a good friend of mine, Doreen, who's also in the club,
Yep.
she was telling me about these ladies' rides, and she said, you need to come with us on these snowmobile rides. And I was like, absolutely not, because I'm not going to be that person that holds somebody back, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a beginner. I don't know how to ride. And I kept telling her no. And so she finally, in the summer of 2019, I had just went through a horrible breakup, and I knew I needed to get out there. It was, with all the stuff with, I needed friends. I needed to quit sitting at home, and I bought me a side-by-side, and about a month later, she was telling me about a project they were doing, a camping trip, and she said, bring it up. And I had never pulled my side-by-side, and it's a 3-hour trip,
Yeah.
and I decided, okay, I can do this.
Yep.
And I pulled it up, and my first experience is I was scared to death. I don't know any of these people. I'm very shy. And I pulled up and unloaded it. And we were at a cabin that we were doing a service project. And all these women started coming up, and they're unloading their dirt bikes. And I remember my first thing is I probably had 5 or 6 of them just come up and give me a hug and welcome me. And I felt like I was a part of the group.
That's
and
awesome.
I was talking to Susan, and she told me, we want you to snowmobile with us. Like, we're looking for beginners. And at that moment, I have never felt such a part of a group as I did that time. It was amazing. I was a part of these badass women throwing chainsaws around, cutting wood, and getting on their dirt bikes. And I was like, I want to be a part of this, because I need the self-esteem. I need to know these women can do it. So can I.
That's
I
awesome.
can do this by myself.
That's it.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I mean, if you had to, if there's say a lady in the area or that wants to think about attending, but maybe has been on the fence, right? Like maybe they're like, like I really want to, like, there's what you've described. I feel like is probably very similar to a lot of other ladies who may be thinking the same thing, but they may be just sitting there going like, nope, it's not for me, or like I don't have the courage to do it, or I'm too nervous, or I'm too afraid, or I'm not good enough, or whatever. Like, dig down in that heart and just tell us like what message do you want to give to those ladies who are sitting there on the sideline, and you would like to see them playing in the game, right? Like what message do you want to give them?
Okay. Wow. I just, I can honestly say this club has literally saved my life.
That's amazing.
It, you know, in more ways than one, because not getting out with, you know, and being around, I in my business, all my clients and stuff are friends, but getting out in the back country and realizing that there's no judgment.
Yep.
Nobody's going to yell at you. You can do what you love. To watch these women that have overcome challenges with autism or social anxiety or depression or even physical challenges and stuff, to watch them. I have made so many friends that I've kept in touch with from day one, and I just see them thriving. And one of the ladies that started, I believe she was in her 50s or early 60s, and watch her on her snow machine, you know, watching another gal, you know, she all of a sudden she started racing. And I realized I'm not too old to do this stuff. I can do this. Taking my side by side out and being a part of the group and feeling like I have something that I belong to.
That's awesome.
And I love to I love it. It has literally, like I said, it has saved my life in more ways than one.
Yeah.
And I would love to get more people involved.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So thank you for sharing your testimonial, your story about, you know, what it's meant to you to be part of this. You know, Susan, I know there's a bunch of things that we're going to talk about tonight. I'm just going to kind of rattle off the ones I'm aware of just to kind of tee it up for everybody, but then I'll let you go through them one by one. We have something called the
Before you go there,
Okay.
her statement is why we do what we do.
That's amazing.
That right there, in a nutshell. I mean, every time I hear one of these women say anything, like, I never could do that before. I never unloaded my sled. I never pulled a trailer. I never. And they have a smile the size of Montana across their face.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing what we do.
That's awesome. Speaking of Montana,
Making
you guys
me
are expanding.
We did. We are, and we did. We so how Montana started is we started a program of hosting events, and that was so we could see, I mean, when I started it, I kind of wanted to have Rev It Up in every single state.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that was just, you know, calm down. But
he was your EDD kicking in there, Susan?
I was like, you know, and I'm like, I want to go to Canada. I want to rev it up and revel stoke. But, you know, they're like, calm down.
Revel stoke it up, maybe we'll call it.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm like, so after we were going for probably 3 years, I met this young lady who came to Skills. Her husband dropped her off and took off riding, and here was this little tiny woman. And I'm like, where'd you come from? I'm like, she's just down there with her sled. So I didn't even know how she got there. But that's Janice, and I've known Janice now for 3 or 4 years, and she is instrumental in this club and our vice president. She has just been so gung-ho that we started this hosting so we can see where the need is. Like, you know, if we hosted an event in Montana and there's a bunch of girls that show up, maybe it's time for a Montana club. And there was a bunch of girls that showed up.
That's awesome.
A lot. Yeah, so I think our first ride we had 25 girls show up on the Skills, and then 25 for the ride. And I'm like, oh boy, that's a lot.
Yep.
But these girls were also doing the same thing. They didn't know us. They drove 3 or 4 hours, hadn't been on a sled. We've got stewards, Courtney Bancroft, the same. I mean, I met her, we were instant friends, and she's like, yeah, I haven't done this before. And I'm like, where are you from? Oh, I drove about 4 hours. And I'm like, wow, I don't know if I do that. Like, when I think back, I don't know if I do that.
Yeah,
when I drive 4
amazing.
hours to be with a bunch of girls, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. But we are now going in Montana. We filed for a foreign entity for our nonprofit up there. So got our bank account. We're just getting started. Of course, this was a crappy snow year, especially in Montana to get started. Oh my gosh, poor Janice had to cancel so many events.
Yep.
There just wasn't any snow. Like Taylor's Fork was like bare, and that's crazy. Where everybody goes to ride.
Yep.
So we got it going up there. Janice has got a pipestone ride.
Okay.
I'm not real sure where that is. I know it's somewhere past Four Corners, I think. I don't know. Sorry, I've never ridden up there. But I
That's
hear
okay.
Pipestone's a lot of fun for our side-by-sides and four-wheelers and all that. So we're going to be doing that. That's a new add-on for June 22nd. But we're pretty excited. There's a lot of girls up there. And
Yeah, one of the girls for sure, Kim, is here from Montana. Kim, is it
yep.
Ullman, Ullman?
Mhm.
She's here watching and giving shout out to the Montana girls and the group and stuff too. And
Yeah,
so
she's one of our board members too.
that's awesome. Very cool.
Yep.
And then a lot of
Yep.
people here too. I know Danielle is here, and I got Brandon Gray here watching too from Squamish. He says, "Come on up to Squamish, British Columbia. He'll show you around up there, or you guys can
Ooh.
separate." He's a club president up there. He's actually a past guest of mine from about a
Oh,
month
wow.
ago or so. And so a lot of great folks here watching. And just as a reminder, everybody, if you guys are watching up to this point, please continue to let us know where you're watching from, and then share this out, so we can get more people aware of what this team is doing. And even if it's not getting directly involved with this team, maybe inspiring other ladies in other parts of the country to do similar things to kind of help grow the sport of snowmobiling and, side-by-sides and dirt biking and all these power sports that are out there. I would imagine, Susan, if you had a call from Maine and some lady was like, "I'd love to pick your brain about what you guys have done, how you're doing it, how to set it up," I would imagine you're somebody who would talk her through it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
I think the greatest form of flattery is imitation.
Absolutely.
So we're kind of, we're a grassroots club, but we kind of have a different spin on it. We set
Yep.
this club up with the idea of teaching skills at every single meeting.
Yeah.
Navigation. We have a avalanche safety and survival. We have sled setup, basic mechanics.
Yep.
My first basic mechanics, I had 20 girls shoved in a garage with 3 sleds. I
Nice.
couldn't even get my iPhone in there to film it. That's how many, and they want to know. And
That's
it's
awesome.
so important. All that stuff just builds their confidence of, okay, my sled just, the handle's gone. I'm like, I don't have a rope. How am I going to start my sled? So we're
Yeah.
starting it off the clutch and teaching these really basic things that you guys seem to be born knowing how to do. I don't know why, and I'm not all that mechanic, but changing spark plugs, just recognizing what's wrong with your sled
Yeah.
and sled setup is just so important. And that's what helps promote that
Yeah.
confidence like Judy's getting, that she can go do it, that she's learning all these things. So God forbid, if you're out in the backcountry by yourself, you're not going to, curl up and die and cry.
Nope. Absolutely. Very cool. Very
But
cool.
that's the goal.
Well, let's touch on some of these things we were about to talk about a little bit ago here. It's like the WOW program, the Steward program, you have service projects. Just kind of give us the lowdown. I know you got a list of things in front of you that you want to kind of cover today, as well as some events that are coming up for the season.
Mhm.
Let's start banging through some of those and get that on everybody's radar.
You got it. So when we started Rev It Up, we did not have this WOW program, and that basically is an acronym for Women Off-Road Wishes. So kind of, I don't know how to explain that. It's just kind of a program where women can apply to get out in the backcountry that normally wouldn't be able to get out.
Yeah.
Regardless of their income, whether they're, armed forces, foster moms, single moms, just anybody that has that desire that doesn't
Yeah.
have the ability to get out in the backcountry, and we sponsor them. So we rent a sled, we rent the gear, we get them out and get them surrounded by people. And Judy was the recipient of that. One of her first rides with us on a snowmobile was as a sponsee.
Oh, that's amazing.
And, yeah, it really helps build your confidence, and it lets these women just have a respite of life. It can get overwhelming, and there's nothing like snowmobiling, at least for me,
Oh, yeah.
because I feel like it's the ultimate living in the moment. You don't have time to think about anything else.
So true.
You really don't.
Yep.
And so it's just one of those, you're not thinking about all the troubles that you have. It's
Yeah.
just what's in front of you. And that is, God, I wish I could live my entire life that way, just dealing with what's in front of me. I
Yep.
can't, but
Yep.
I wish I could. So that's kind of our WOW program. And we have now kind of expanded it in 2 different ways. Besides sponsoring people, we're going to sponsor people that already are riding but don't have proper gear, buying them beacons and backpacks, whatever they
Yeah.
need. And then we're just started. In fact, our last meeting was Thursday, and we're going to have a charitable donations section where we actually donate to people in need, regardless if it's motorized or not, just to help give back to our community. because that's what we're all about. And that's what lends into the service projects. We like to do at least one service project a year. We either do it up Grays River or we've been up McCoy, which is actually Idaho. But I'm like a mile from Idaho, so we ride it all the time. That's the least we can do is help do things. So we kind of fixed up the cattleman's cabin so it wasn't so scary when you walked in.
Yeah.
We cut firewood. Box Y is one of our sponsors. We go up there for an overnight ride, which is fantastic. And we're going to go up there and do a service project. And we usually do them in the fall when it's not so hot and less skeeters. But we always do at least one or two service projects for the community. A lot of us that are in RevItUp, especially in my local here, are part of Top of the Rockies, part of Snow Skippers, part of Snow Devils, because we have 4 major groups in a very short area here. So it kind of lends itself to being cross-addicted. That's what I'm going to call it, cross-addicted. So, like yesterday, I was with Top of the Rockies and we cleaned up Grays River Road.
Yeah.
Picked up all the beer bottles and all that fun stuff from that. And we do it every year. So it's, our community is very much oriented to helping others. Top of the Rockies is the same way. Snow Skippers is the same way. We're not exclusive. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Everybody's good. We just kind of have a different platform with it being women only for our rides, in our meetings, and for everything else. So in the summer, everything's family friendly, unless we're going on a ride, camp out. We have a co-ed ride every year at the end of the year. In March is a co-ed ride. Yeah. And those are fantastic. The guys come and they're so helpful. I mean, it's great. I don't like full skis and I'm just out there riding. So
once in a while we're good for something, but it's rare. Don't worry.
Really good. And they have been excellent. I haven't heard a voice raised at all. So that is really key for these women to build their confidence, because we get our feelers hurt really easy. As far as the stewardship program, what we decided to do probably maybe somebody's going to kick me in the butt. I think 3 years ago, we started our stewardship program, and it's kind of our ambassador program. But everybody's using ambassador, and I was sick of hearing ambassador, so we got my thesaurus out, and I found me another word. So we went with stewardship. And these girls are basically the front lines of us, especially on social media. It's kind of our social media presence to help get our name out there and encourage other women to come. So other women will come up to them and say, hey, you think I can go? Yeah. Because, Judy touched on it. A lot of women are just, they don't want to hold you back. And that's like, they tell me that and I'm like, oh no, those are swear words.
Exactly.
That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. We're going to help you get unstuck, and I'm going to show you how to get unstuck by yourself.
Yep. Then
all the other girls help out. And it's, if you tip over, you got like 20 girls on top of you.
Yep.
Lift the sled and go on. And
I'm looking forward to tipping over in Wyoming, let me tell you.
You better.
Little joke there. My apologies. I saw the open basket and I went for the 3-point shot.
You went for the skill shot. Yeah, couldn't be anything to do with the name. I don't know if we want to touch on that thing.
No, we'll leave that one alone.
We'll leave that one alone. This is the PG thing. Okay, got it. Yep. So our stewards right now, we have, we have 5 stewards. We have Courtney in Montana. We have Margaret down there with Judy, Margaret Laporte. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to kick my butt because I don't remember everybody. I can't get out my phone. That's embarrassing. Who else do we have? Judy, Bailey. Who else do we have? Judy, you, Bailey, Megan.
Natalie's on the board.
No, Nat's a board member now. Judy, you're supposed to know this. You're a steward.
I know.
I think we're down to 3 right now. We had a couple girls that popped off, so it's
Gotcha.
Courtney, Margaret, and Judy right now. Bailey was instrumental, really helping, and so was Megan, but they're no longer a steward with us right now.
All right, and if somehow, some way we've missed somebody, feel free to let us know in the comments that you're a steward also for the team.
An idiot. So. Yeah, I can't remember shit. All right, PG.
All good. If somebody wanted to let's say they're inspired by the show, by what you're saying. I want to get involved. The girl, whoever it is from somewhere wants to get involved. How does the ladies get involved? Do they go to your website? And if so, what is it? All that kind of stuff. So.
You bet. Yep, the website has all our information on there. I'm slowly building the events for the summer and the winter, upcoming winter, but RevItUpGirls.com. They can email us at info@RevItUpGirls.com, which is on the website. My phone number is on the website.
Okay.
We have 2 Facebook pages, an Instagram. I think that's it. So we have a lot of ways for people to get in touch with us. And most people are on and off Facebook enough to see it. And we also put out a newsletter. So
Okay.
all of our members, we put out newsletter and keep everybody updated. But that's the easiest way is RevItUpGirls.com.
Yeah. And
All
if
the
somebody
info's on there.
and if somebody's inspired by what you guys are doing, and maybe they're not a lady who wants to participate, but maybe they're a person or a business or somebody who wants to support you guys in what you're doing, maybe it's hosting an event, maybe it's sponsorship. Like, what are the opportunities that are there for people to help you guys, whether it be financial or otherwise?
Yep. So we have, besides our membership fees, we have a donation right there on RevItUpGirls.com where they can donate money. The way our finances are set up, because we're pretty transparent, is all of our money to keep this club solvent, including our insurance, is just off of our memberships. And all of the donations and everything else that we make off of raffles and things like that go to the WOW program. So we're solvent by the memberships, and all the other stuff is how we try and help the community of women, especially. But yeah, that's pretty much how to get in touch with us.
Sounds good. Then Margaret pointed in the comments here watching. So Margaret Laporte reminded us
Yay!
that they can go to your website and also shop for merchandise. So there's Revit Girl
There's a
Girl
little
merchandise.
bit. Yeah, there's some. I'm trying to get away from the merchandise, to be honest with you. I just don't want it in my bedroom. It's.
What's the matter? You don't want a closet full of LiveLARGE Universe T-shirts?
I did that.
I know the feeling.
I have. It's just not where we make money. We're just not an online store, and so that was really hard for me to keep up with. So it just had to we make backpack flags that are very fluorescent to put on your back and stuff like that. Hats, beanies, something that's easy for me to carry around. We have a few things, but we really don't have a lot left.
Gotcha. Now, I was cruising your website as you and I got to chat this week, and I noticed there's a bunch of items on there that are scheduled events, right? And so there's, I don't know, probably 6, 7, 8 different events on here. I don't know that we want to talk about all of them, but are there any key events that are coming up this year that you want to highlight? So let's cover that next before we wrap up the show tonight. So
you bet. I definitely want to highlight Montana. It's a fledgling little club up there and a bunch of girls that want to ride. And they had a tough start with the winter, but we have that Pipestone ride. That's going to be June 22nd. We'll get you more details as we get that information of where we'll meet and what time.
Okay.
But Pipestone is for all sizes of off-road. That I heard. We have a big thing coming up that involves Miss Judy here. We have a charity fun run, which is one of the ways that we make money for our WOW program. And that is a fun run. We've done our consignment sale that you helped us with a few years ago. That money went to also another 501c3 in our WOW program. So we are always donating to other institutions, plus taking some for the WOW program. But this year on our fun run, we're going to give 100% to Miss Judy there, that unfortunately was diagnosed with multiple myeloma. Probably about a month ago, Judy? Something like that?
March 1st. Yes.
March 1st.
Judy, that's a tough bit of news there. I'm so sorry to hear that that's something you're having to deal with, and I'm so grateful you have a support team around you to help you out. So,
I couldn't do it without him, and like I said, I was part of the WOW program. They sponsored me to go snow machining.
Yep.
And so I'm with him. I cannot wait to get up there all 4 seasons.
Nice.
And I went from the WOW program riding, and then they reached out to me about being a steward, and I was excited and getting into it. And trying to reach out to get the club out there. And in March, I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, which is a blood cancer that attacks your bone marrow tissue and deteriorates your bones. And I reached out to Susan and said, I'm sorry, I just don't know how much I can do.
Yeah.
And she immediately, I mean, everybody in the club has just been amazing, reaching out and helping. And it's very comforting to know that they're my biggest support system,
Yeah.
you know. And like I told you before, I have my own business. You know, if I'm not working, I'm not making money. I will have to take time off and for a bone marrow transplant and be back and forth from Salt Lake at the Huntsman and doing my treatments. And this club, it's just knowing that they have my back.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, when you got a good support system like that, it gives you the extra freedom to go out and kick this thing's butt. So good luck with that, and keep us posted. So you know, I want to hear feedback. You know, we'll be watching the Rev It Up Girls pages and stuff too, and you know, give us some updates on how things are going along the way too. So appreciate it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're going to have that charity fun run will be on July 13th. I'm still working out a few details. We usually just run up the Grays River and have dinner at the Bull Moose, but they don't know that yet, so probably ought not say that out loud yet. But
Too late.
Chef Craig is so good to us, so I don't think it'll be a problem. But that's our goal is July 13th for our charity fun run.
Yep.
To support Judy and help her get paid all those bills that are going to be coming in that insurance isn't going to pay. So I hope everybody shows up. I'm also going to put a donation site on our website just to donate to Judy. So if you can't come for the fun run and all you want to do is donate, I'll put that on the website too.
Very good.
So we can have a donation for that. We're going to have about 4 or 5 things here locally in Star Valley. We have our water weekend on Palisades is always super fun. And that is, I met Margaret there. She came up for the water weekend and we rent jet skis and have boats and camp right on Palisades. And that is all family friendly and we just have a ball. It's a great time. So we always love doing that. But our service projects in September, a few razor rides and float rides and riding our dirt bikes up Black Mountain and looking over everything in the evening. So we try and do some fun things in the summer. We really do. I'd like to expand the summer stuff, but we'll get there.
Sounds like you're keeping plenty busy to me, and before you know it, it's going to be snowing again. So,
I mean, it's tough. It really is. You know, we have a lot that we want to do, and we have all these wonderful women that have all these great ideas. Ava, who is our social media, she's been with me for all of them but 1 year, and she's been instrumental getting the social media going and getting the platform for the online stuff, and she's full of ideas. And so is Kim Ullman on our board, and Natalie that's on our board, and Janice Enos that's on our board, and Patricia Namoff. I mean, they've done a fantastic job, and I'm just so thankful that I started with, you know, just a few of us girls. Wendy was with me and Jenny, and now there's a board, and now it's kind of, it's taken off. And I really, you know, I can't stress enough that I just want this to be the girls' club, not Susan's club.
Well, this is something that I can just tell, like, and it's something, you know, Susan, the fact that you started it is awesome, but the growth that's there already, the support, the energy that's in the chat, the energy that's here with Judy, this is going to be something that will live beyond, you know, you and I in our lifetimes, right? It's like, you know, hopefully this is something that goes on, you know, and it's going to be a legacy that we'll left behind, you know, once, you know, we're too old to get on a sled anymore, then it's going to be time for others to come up behind us and to start leading the clubs and to leading groups like this too. And you guys have started an amazing little machine here, we'll call it, called Rev It Up Girls. So
thank you. Well, that's the goal. I hope it keeps going. I really do. It's fun.
All right.
Keeps you young.
Let's do some wrap up thoughts here. I'm going to do kind of a final shout out here. So Judy, any final words you have before we wrap up the show tonight? Anything else that we've missed? Anything you want to touch on?
I just want to say thank you so much for having us. Anybody that is out there with any question at all, you know, if you're looking for somewhere to go and join something, whether it is water, snow, grass, dirt, whatever.
Yep.
Please come out. And the thing that I really found that was important is, I mean, not only just being in the club, but I feel safe. I mean, I've learned so much about the safety part, proper riding etiquette. Susan asked me one day at the end of the ride, what was your aha moment today? And I said, I know it sounds silly, but I learned how to move my butt across the sled. Because she kept telling me, you got to move side to side. I said, I am. But she told me, no, move your butt. So,
I think I might have grabbed it.
How big or how small those aha moments. I mean, you learn how to be prepared in the backcountry, and the most important is have fun and all the laughter we have, and being a part of knowing you're doing something important for people too.
Very good. Well, thank you, Judy, for that. I appreciate it. And Susan, your final thoughts, any thank yous, any shout outs, anything you want to wrap it up with? So
I want to thank everybody that's part of our club that is stuck with us. I mean, that's just fantastic. We're not normal, and I love it, and I hope they love it too. And we've had many sponsors along the way. You know, Bob Tom helped us for a while, and he's still there to help us out, and Bull Moose and Fox Y, and Meredy, who has her lodge, that she actually came to me. She goes, you need a place to meet? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, do you want them to spend the night? And I'm like, yeah. So she has been with us from day one.
that's awesome.
So we have a lot of supportive people that just don't seem to quit. So it's one of those things that it just keeps, paying it forward. There are times where I'm like, I don't know if I can keep doing this.
Yeah.
And then there's somebody that'll come up and say, you just don't understand what this means to me. And they're in tears and giving me a hug. And I'm like, all right, I can keep doing it.
Awesome.
Just like what Judy says, for her to say she feels safe.
That's awesome.
Was huge for me.
It's like one of the biggest compliments you can get, right? So
yeah, we're safety Nazis. Like,
yeah.
I'm to the point where I'm a safety Nazi where people are like, yeah, back off a little bit. And I'm like, well, they're not getting hurt on my watch. I'm telling you that. So we want people to have fun, that we are pushing safety. Where are you? What's that hill look like?
Yeah.
What aspect is it? What are you going to do? So talk to people, communicate, get radios, get all the stuff that you need to get. You don't have it, well, we all have extras, and we're getting our own little Rev It Up closet where we got mono suits and boots and helmets and stuff that if you come into town and you don't have your stuff, let me know.
We got you back. We got your back, right?
We got you back. So we're starting to get our own little closet going, and I think it's just really helpful. But for Judy to say that she feels safe that's it.
That's awesome.
That's just it, man.
Yeah, well, this has been a fantastic show, and sometimes people, especially if you've never watched this show for the first, this is the first time you've watched it, you might be wondering what's this Live Large thing about, and I think it's perfect, because what I tell everybody is, and the things that we've touched on tonight, it's the trifecta. So it's awesome that we have 3 people on tonight, because we've touched on 3 things, and it's live life to the fullest. So you guys are out there living adventures, right? Like, this is the making the best of life we have, and then make the most of every day. So Judy, I think of, the days that you've been on the snow and you're making the most of it, the days you've been frustrated and struggled and you fought through it, you were making the most of every day. In your new battle that you're fighting right now too, I know it's going to be hard for you to keep a positive attitude and make the most of every day that you have as you're fighting through this to come out on the other side in a positive way. And so, all of us just keep reminding ourselves of, make the most of every day is such an important part of this. And then the final piece, which has been throughout this entire show, is make a difference to others. And so live life to the fullest, make the most of every day, and make a difference to others is what I'm all about, what the show is all about. And we talk about things like snowmobile safety, education, and just positive growth of the sport. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say we hit a home run tonight. Like, this show was amazing. You guys have an amazing topic, amazing group. I'm so proud of what you guys are doing down there. And so keep up the great work.
Thanks so much.
Yep. And
That means a lot. It's hard.
yeah,
It's
no,
hard.
I know it's a lot of work. I'm president of a club. I'm on the board of directors of an Avalanche Center. I'm part of Avalanche Alliance nationally, where we give away the sled every. It's a lot of work, and it's a work of passion. This podcast, it's like every
Yes.
Sunday night I'm interrupting my weekend to come here and hang out with new people every weekend. And
Yeah, we
like you
appreciate
said, it's the thank yous and it's the knowing that you're making a difference out there that makes it so fulfilling and makes you want to keep going. So,
Yeah, it is. Just to see that smile on somebody's face, it
yep,
did a power turn. Doesn't
perfect,
matter.
perfect,
That's
perfect.
all it means.
All right, Susan, Judy, you guys hang tight while I wrap up the final part of the show here. And what I tell everybody as I wrap up the show is God bless you all and live large. Have an amazing night. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Thank you, John. Thanks, Judy.